Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to take a look in something in Earth Arcana, and this is a magic item that was a little bit of a game changer when it first was introduced. It's a dagger of throwing, and I'm going to explain why it was a bit of a game changer, but first I'll go through the properties. So dagger of throwing appears as a normal weapon, but will radiate a strong duomer when magic is checked for. The balance of this sturdy blade is perfect, such that when it is thrown by anyone, the dagger will demonstrate superb characteristics as a ranged weapon. The magic of the dagger enables it to be hurled up to 60-foot distance. Medium and short range is 20 inches and 40 inches respectively, or 20 feet and 40 feet respectively. Any successful hit when it was thrown will inflict twice normal dagger damage, plus the duomer of the blade, which will range from +1 to +4. Roll a d100 on the table below. The experience point value for the dagger of throwing is base 150 plus 100 points per magical plus. The gold piece sale value is 1,500 plus 1,000 gold piece per magical plus. Interesting that they included that in the actual text instead of just on the table. So if you roll a 1 to 35, it's a +1. 36 to 65 +2. 66 to 90 +3, and 91 to double odd +4. So this is a nice little weapon. So if I have a dagger and I'm going to throw it at a man-sized target, I would get the bonus. So let's use the +3 example. So I would get the +3 to hit. And when it hit, I would do double damage. So I would throw my damage for my man-sized target and daggers 1 to 4. So if I rolled a 3, I would get the 3 plus the 3. And then I would double that. So it'd be 3 plus 3 is 6. Double that to 12. I would do 12 points of damage. And any other bonuses I might have for strength. At my table, you get strength bonus to hurled weapons. I've had some dispute with folks on that, but even with Girdles of Giant Strength, I do give attack and damage bonuses for strength when throwing a weapon. But getting back to the point, the dagger of throwing with the doubling of the plus itself can become really powerful. So if you have a fighter, for instance, it's got a 17 strength, the total to hit would be +1 for the strength. If he's got 16 dexterity, he'd get +1 for his dexterity, and then +3 for the weapon. So he would get a total of +5 to hit. And his damage upon doing the damage would be the die 4 result doubled, or having 3 added to it, then that doubled, plus the +1 for his strength. So that's how I would do it at my table. These were kind of game changers because they allowed distance damage. And if you look, the highest you're going to get on the table here is a 4th level dagger, which is base 150 plus 100 per magical bonus. So it's only worth 550 gold or experience points. If you get this in a dungeon, I still award experience points for magic items at my table. Generally, I will put these in a pair because per the rules, you can throw 2 daggers in a round. The thing I tell all players that I do give these to is when you throw it, you have to tell me you picked it up. If you don't tell me you picked it up, you forgot it, you got to go back and get it. Or if you throw it at, say, a dragon, and the dragon is injured by it but flies away, the dagger by definition is stuck in the dragon because it is throwing, it's sticking in the target, and the dragon flies away with it. It's still hurting it and irritating it, but it is gone from your ownership. So it's just an interesting way to kind of keep players honest with this particular one. We had a lot of discussion when these first came out because they are specifically balanced to throw. Could you use this in melee? And the answer I had was, yeah, I allow it. And I've had a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't do that. It's balanced for throwing, that you don't really fight hand-to-hand with that. Well, first off, you can in a pinch. And second, hand-wavium magic. I allow it. It just makes for a better item to give to the player character. If they have, a +1 dagger of throwing, but they have the option of just using it as a +1 dagger, it just gives a little more life to the magic item and really doesn't hurt game balance in the least. So that's why I've allowed it. But yeah, that's really about it. 6-inch distance, so 60 feet is pretty darn good. And then, of course, when you're further range, you lose bonuses. You get minuses to hit for the further range and stuff like that. But that's really all there is to the dagger of throwing. It was a little bit of a game changer in '85 when we first saw this. And I have given out +5 daggers of throwing to higher level characters just because I wanted to make it more interesting for them. But that's really it. Let me know what you think. Have you given out daggers of throwing. Are these very rare? I've given out, over the years, the 39 years since this book came out, I've given out many, many, I'm sure, because that's one of my kind of go-to items at my table. I know at least 3 characters at my table in various games have daggers of throwing. And I don't have a problem with that. I think they're a nice utility item. I think fighting with it hand to hand is acceptable, and I love the option to just throw it in need. I love that the players worry about losing it and have to go pick it up when they're done with it. That's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments below. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Let's tell your friends. And take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there if you can. And I'll see you next time on page 121.